courthouse. We will get started for the April 1st, 2026 Board of Zoning Appeals meeting. First item on the agenda is to approve the March 4th meeting minutes.
Can you speak up a little?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
The first item on the agenda would be to approve the March 4th, 2026 minutes. Those were sent out to the board members. Should have had a chance to review those. I'll look for any concerns or any notes on those. If I hear none, we'll look for a motion to approve.
I move we approve the minutes from last month's meeting.
A second?
I'll second that.
Okay. The meeting minutes from the March 4th meeting are approved. The first petition is BZA 2026-3. Jesse Fenton is requesting a conditional use to have a fabricating and machining business. The request falls under Decatur County Ordinance Section 935. The property is currently owned by Jesse Fenton and is located at 2625 South State Road 3, Greensburg and Clay Township. So, Mr. Fenton, thanks for being here. If you would take the podium and tell us what you're looking to happen.
Basically, I've been doing machining and 3D printing stuff as a hobby. I'm looking to grow that more as a business, so that we can figure out to do that. So growing it more locally.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm looking to grow it and turn to more of a home business versus a full-time thing that over the next couple of years. Once that thing goes smoothly.
Okay. So tell us about some of the things you're making. Is it generally things you, maximum size, the things you haul in, things you carry in generally?
Usually things smaller than 12 by 12.
Okay.
Smaller machine parts and I make accessories for lasers and like dog tags that you wear.
Okay.
That's what I do currently as like copy stuff.
Uh-huh.
So online. But like to branch into some little bigger things like mailboxes and work stuff.
Sure.
So the truck traffic that I guess you would be seeing is probably just small UPS, FedEx, those type of trucks, right? No semis or anything like that of that nature.
Yeah, the only time I would have a semi is if I have like a equipment delivery, which has happened the past year. I have a semi supply to drop off some equipment.
Sure.
Other than that, I usually, right now the post office picks up most of my stuff when they deliver my mail, and then I'll take it to the UPS drop off.
So it's all mail order, you don't have,
Currently, I can see in the future where they're like once or twice a week, so I may stop by and pick something up.
but do you plan on having store hours? No.
Just, yeah, like 5 in the morning, pick something up.
So do you own the image here? So we've got an overlay of where like a sign would go.
Yes.
Are both of those parcels in this image yours then? Yeah.
I own both the house and the whole lot.
They just happen to be on different parcels, but yeah.
And just to be clear on conditional use, no sign or advertisement are displayed upon premises unless approved by the Board of Zoning Appeals. So you would have to make that an approval as well.
Okay.
Typically, in a conditional use, there is no sign.
So we would be looking at essentially two requests, one conditional use and then one for the sign, is that?
All sign.
Sign, okay. As far as a delivery truck, I understand the semi thing, and I would have a lot of concern if you would anticipate a semi needing to pull off the side of a state highway at any frequency at all. That would be a concern. You know, we wouldn't want to enable a business that can't get a truck off the road. that would need to be a pretty infrequent thing, or we would need to look at some capability of getting a truck in there. If you had to estimate the frequency of something like that, what would that look like?
Say, maybe once every 3 to 5 years.
Oh, okay, okay, that's fine. And I assume that the drive on this parcel, you can easily get a UPS truck in and out of there, is that a,
It's hard to see on this picture, but there's like a U drive there in the front,
okay,
and then the driveway, covered driveway goes back to the.
okay.
Okay.
Wouldn't have to back in or out at that point,
Oh,
is that,
Right.
yeah,
That's where your business will be, is in the barn in the back? Gotcha.
And there's kind of a pretty good shoulder there to begin with, isn't there? Like right between State Road 3 and where you proposing to put this, yeah.
yeah,
I think that's the biggest concern is, like you said, Paul, is just
yeah.
safety. I mean, if a semi was getting there every, once a week, you know, the probability of something happening is obviously high. But if we're just talking once in a great while, you know, that's no different.
Very frequently, I would be buying large.
Yeah.
Are you currently using that machinery in that pole barn, like for your, is that where it's located now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been machining as a hobby, for like 10 years, so.
Right.
Even when I've lived here in town, I've had in my garage and I've had an issue with my neighbors, so I was like, no.
Yeah.
I've used the same program
And I'm not familiar with that type of, is there noise levels? I mean, you've obviously been using it already. Is there like a noise level associated with any of that? Or, I mean, I drove by on the way, you're on my way here in town, so I took a look as I drove past, but I mean, because it sits kind of there along those trees next to the neighbor's parcel.
Yes, so my last thing is like a air compressor, and then no one should does make noise, but I think the air compressor is way louder than.
Compressor is inside the structure?
Yeah.
Yep.
And right now, it's separated into 3 bays. The first bay is insulated. That's where the equipment is right now. And it's insulated the other bays also, so that helps keep that one.
Sure.
I'm not super familiar with the business either, but do you have any like external gas, like industrial gas tanks for welding, torching, or anything like that that you'll need to install?
No, nothing.
Or maybe it
external
has
to the- there's, like, cylinders around.
Yeah, just standard stuff, like in a shop. Yep.
What's the distance to the nearest, the next home other than, I mean, I understand yours is within 30 or 40 feet there. How far is the next home to this building, approximate? Do we know that? Okay, I didn't know if you had GIS, so that's just a PowerPoint there. There you go. So I guess that, good. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can get there. 80 feet or so. Okay. Good questions. Anyone else from the board have any questions before we open it up for?
Is that gonna be a lighted sign on the road or just a standard,
Just
no lighting?
no lighting.
Gotcha.
It's not, won't be internally lit, maybe future, light showing onto it at some point. It'll be like a solar light, not.
Okay.
So it won't be powered like
Okay.
Okay.
solar light.
Okay. That's,
Based off of the previous, where he's showing the sign, it's showing the right of way, it's within the right of way, and it would have to be 30 feet from the right of way line, so it would have to be further back.
I wondered about that off of a state highway there. And then that's, okay, so the right of way, it's currently dimensioned from what looks to be the lane marker, the white lane marker, So would it have to be, I guess I would assume the right-of-way comes a bit,
Well, according to that map, that right of way is the blue line. The edge of the right of way. So it need to be 30 feet from that,
From the blue line?
from the blue line. Now, we can get with the state highway and get it more accurate, because that's probably not 100% accurate, what's on the
Okay.
plan. But get a better accuracy, get, your timber and all steel, and get with the state highway, get better, and get where that right of way is.
okay. So at that point, it would have to be, on the inside of the driveway if it were gonna be 30 feet, is that, I mean,
Where he's got that turnaround, it's like blacktop turnaround on the property, it's closer to that area.
Or he could put it in front of the trees or something over there.
Yeah.
understand the discussion there, I guess.
Because according to the beacon, the edge of the right of way on the other side, side of the state highway, there's no road side, it's what I. We'll work with accurate distance
Signs have to be 30 feet?
from the edge of the right of way.
Any other questions? Questions from the public? Okay, if you don't mind, sir, Jesse, if you want to have a seat, if you'd like to speak, please come up and state your name, and then you're welcome to voice any concerns.
My name is George Linnell. I'm the mother-in-law of the adjacent property owner.
Okay.
South.
Okay.
My question is, has this been previously approved as a machine shop? Or is, in other words, is there a variance for the business that is operating there now? Has there been a request for a variance of that operation?
Well, I think I can answer that. So, it wouldn't be a variance, it would be a conditional use, but from what this board understands, it has been a hobby to this point, and he would like to be able to take this more seriously and take it to the step of doing it more as a for-profit business than a hobby.
And I understand that, but the request, or the zoning request is about a sign. My question is, has there been a variance already approved for the use of that property? Because my understanding, it is zoned residential, am I correct?
Yes, sir, it is, well, it's, I don't know that it's residential.
A2.
A2, yeah, it's not technically residential, but, yeah, you've asked a couple questions there. There are a number of parcels in this county that are zoned A2 that do have hobby businesses on them, and it's a conditional use request that we do see from time to time, because the county would not necessarily prefer that we just change the zoning of every one of these to a commercial zoning. So a conditional use would allow a business like this, should it be granted. Does that answer your question? His request, maybe you need to clarify, has two requests. One of them is for his business to operate out of this building, and then secondly, to be able to have a sign for the business.
Okay, this only reads about the sign. It
Oh.
doesn't say anything about a request for a variance of the business.
Okay, yeah,
The notice.
the notice only says something about the sign, maybe? That could be. So yes, what he's requesting is a conditional use to have a fabricating and machining business.
Okay. zone residential, that can help the property values of the adjacent property owners. That's all I can say. And why does the business, there's plenty of places for businesses in business areas. Why does it have to be down there?
Well, I think a lot of folks would contest that there's a lot of places to do that. I don't know that there are a lot of commercially zoned properties available, is the first thing I think most people that would look for something like that would say. But it's also the county's goal to allow a person, should they meet certain criteria, to operate a small business out of a building like this. And oftentimes that is the springboard that would allow a person to, at that point, be able to afford to purchase a commercial property to, should the business grow and succeed.
It's been residential.
Yes, sir.
You change it into a business, it becomes something else.
We're not changing the zoning. That is not what this is. We're not changing the zoning to a commercial zoning. We are allowing, or being requested to allow, a conditional use.
And
Which-
it's for a certain period of time.
It's for a certain period of time. So the property next to her is not going to go from A2 to commercial. That's not what the request is. It's just for him to operate a business out of that structure under a conditional use. And that's what these conditions that we may apply would mean.
So my question is, down the road, if his business is successful, he can't sell the property as a business.
You're exactly right.
Correct.
That's exactly right. Yes, this would be tied to him, not to the parcel. Yeah, good question. I should have clarified that. I apologize. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And if I could just be clear.
Yeah.
On the notices that that the adjoining property owners received, it does say the petitioner is requesting a conditional use as provided Decatur County Zoning Ordinance, Section 935, for fabricating and machining business and get approved for a sign.
Sign, okay.
I just.
The notice has both.
Yes.
Okay. Good questions. Yeah, come on up.
I'm just concerned, about the property value and, like I said, there's noise or a lot of traffic. He's not gonna like to be that much traffic, so. And the noise, that's why I'm doing it. And, what is the application? What is that exactly? Application?
Yeah, the great questions, and what I'll do is allow him to answer that. So feel free to, any concerns or questions, and then we will allow him to respond to all the questions.
And this is gonna be a full-time job for him, is that right? Full-time job?
Yeah, we'll allow, go ahead and ask all your questions, and then he can come up and address them all if that's okay.
Okay, and, I just worried about traffic and you said the sign has to be 30 foot
From the right of way, so not necessarily off the edge of the road, but from the right of way, which is farther back still, and that's something we'll kind of continue to figure out here.
yeah, I just wondered about that, it's gonna be all day, 5 days a week, and whatever,
Sure.
and traffic coming in and out. And if the sign doesn't block me in and out. State Road 3 is kind of hard to get out sometimes.
Sure. Yeah.
So, anyway, that's about it.
Very good. Thank you. Oh, can you state your name, ma'am?
Oh, sorry, Leanne Bain,
Very good. Thank you.
I've lived there for over 30 years.
Okay. Jesse, I'll give you the opportunity to answer some of Mrs. Bain's questions here.
Yeah, so for the time being, this is only like evenings and weekends, when I'll be doing this. So a full-time job number, eventually, business grows, I like to turn it into a full-time, job for myself, but, for the next couple of years, it'll be part-time, evenings and weekends. And stuff is shipped. Imagine us be that way next year. But could be pickups by appointment. It's not gonna be like a store where people coming in and out every day, like multiple times a day. Maybe we could zip up on there and show them this something else. Couple times a week maybe with that. As far as the sign, right now where the sign's located is behind the fence that was there. And then towards, the bottom side of the street, there's another fence there with some, where there were some trees. All that landscape was taken out currently. So the sign's located behind where those trees and stuff were previously. So it should be a clear view of the roadway, coming out of the driveway. I think that was.
So the sign exists today then?
No, it
Oh,
But we watched with, Sash here, we did some landscaping, pulled out the old, fence and, tree there that's, the square there. It's off the gravel driveway. All that tree, all that, fencing.
okay. Can you think of any signs that would be that close to the road in the proximity anywhere?
I know there is a, I don't remember what its name is exactly. It's not a fabrication building business, contract, building, some, other side of trees, that it's, it'll be a similar size.
Okay. Questions from the board? So at this point, what you
I
would,
think she
Go
had
ahead.
one other question. She asked, her first question was, what was machining? Was that what
Oh.
you said?
Fabrication.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like building, piecing it all together to build a structure, or, like, I'm interested in building some of the furniture, wood furniture. Building something that's together.
You mentioned Badge's name.
Oh, yeah, we're ready to, dark tires, or,
Are there any requirements to the sign, size, dimensions?
yeah, we have a square footage limit, right? 32 or something?
Just to clarify, again, now I've got the ordinance in my hand. A permitted sign must be placed a minimum of 10 feet outside of the public right of way. So it's 10 feet.
10, okay.
It's 10 feet, so. Square footage.
The church, and that's definitely, I wouldn't say that's 30 feet by any means. And there's one, I couldn't find it on here, but it's not for business, but there's a South Decatur Cougar sign that's not 30 feet off the road, and it's on the right-hand side of 3-ish. Going down. This is further south by, that's 300 south. The property is right here. I mean, like, is that like a quarter of a mile, maybe?
Would the, you know, I know that this is a state highway technically, so I don't even know if we've got anything to say about that, but would the state even allow them to put it inside of their right of way to begin with? Is that even a, yeah. May be a issue beyond a county thing if it's inside of the state's right of way, so we may not even be allowed to say, yes, you can put it in the state's right of way, you know?
There's different square footage requirements depending on the type of, whether it's an agriculture sign.
Other than visibility, I mean, setting that sign back, is that gonna be really detrimental to what you're trying to do?
No, I like it to be visible from the roadway.
Right.
Other than that, I sit on that location.
Yeah, I guess without me going out there and just actually looking at, you know, what's 10 feet, what's 30 feet,
Yeah.
you know, and again, safety concerns for visibility for neighbors and yourself and then anybody coming out of there.
If the board approves the sign, we'll still have to go through the process to get a sign that will meet our county ordinance, meet all the state regulations, so that would all factor in to know that the location is accurate for our business.
Okay, so let's go on that. So, what he would be asking for tonight regarding the sign that we had talked about earlier is what would we be approving or not approving regarding the sign tonight?
So typically what we do with these projects is this is an opportunity to operate a business at your home.
Yep.
As you said, to kind of get it started up to see if we're going to move to a commercial property. And part of that is he has to have approval from the board to actually even have a sign.
Okay,
Because a lot of these businesses we approve for this don't have signs.
signs, yeah,
And it would just be to have the sign. Then the next step is that it must have a permit, it must meet the ordinance for signs.
okay.
And it must meet the state requirements.
So the details surrounding the location of it would be a separate request.
Through our office.
Through our-
Through the permitting process.
Okay, and then should he want a variance off of that setback, then he would come back here and we would
Right.
have that discussion. Is that correct? If he would want to put it closer than the 10?
Well, this board wouldn't have the latitude to override the state's requirement. And I believe probably the state's requirement is going to be more restrictive than our
Okay,
county ordinance.
okay,
This is on state road 3.
sure,
Right.
sure, yep,
So, just, our ordinance is more for the county signs, but anytime like you know, we've had billboards and the like on 74, those rules dictate where the sign is placed,
sure.
not so much our.
Okay. Does that make sense what she's conveying there? So basically what we would be voting on is yes or no, whether he would have the capability of having a sign for this business. The details surrounding the location of it, we would address not no. Okay. Questions otherwise?
I do.
Yes.
Seems to be more concerned about the sign than there is whether there should be the business there. In other words, you're discussing the sign, and I don't think there's been an approval for a business there. Am I correct?
You're correct, but he is asking, there are two requests being made. So before we would come to a vote to talk about this, I'd like to get the details of both of those requests handled. Okay, any other questions from the board? Okay, do you have a concern generally with these conditional uses, and I think I can say generally, that we tie a time period to them? Is that correct?
That's correct.
And the idea of the time period is, let's say this flourishes and you do receive semi deliveries and a lot of trucks in and out or things like that, that the idea of the time period is to protect the neighbors should it become a real nuisance, or you add a device outside, a machine outside that causes noise in the evenings and things like that. Generally, we'll tie a time restriction that if you would like to renew this, that it gives the neighbors a voice. And I'm not saying not saying anything with your petition, but that's the idea or the structure generally behind that. So I think it would be my recommendation that we do tie some time period to this, and we've been through a handful of these that they come in, none of the neighbors show up, everything's great, it goes wrong, and you just continue doing what you're doing. Does that make sense to you?
Yep.
Okay, any concern with that, or,
I don't have any concerns with that.
Okay, okay. So my preference would be 36 months, give them a few years, and then at that point, I think you'll maybe be able to decide if this is something you want to continue doing there, if it's really going well, if you'd like to move it or something of that nature. Does that sound okay to you? Are you guys?
That sounds
Okay,
And how that works after 36 months, then we'll send a notice to him and to the
Neighbors.
surrounding property owners. And if we don't get any response back from the neighbors, then we don't bring him back in. He signs the paper, he pays the fee, and he moves on.
even better. Okay. So does that, do you all understand that as a neighbor, that if this is a nuisance, we could discontinue this conditional use? So if things don't go well, this is not an everlasting, that's one of the ideas of the conditions.
There have been no complaints about what's happening there currently. It's not a problem. I just don't like the idea of expansion and a damn sign.
Okay. Understand. Okay, so,
I have a question. I know,
speak up so that we can get this on the minutes.
in the future, would you want to put another fence up on this side or just like, would you put a fence up on the other side?
Just the one side.
Okay, so, I think that what we would look for specifically, is a motion to vote on a conditional use to operate a fabricating and machining business. Does this need to be two separate?
I think if you can, make it as one motion, but have it as the condition needs to run the business and to also approve based off of the Decatur County sign ordinance, an approval to put in a sign based off that ordinance, probably a
One-
little jumbled up, like Missy could say, but
One or two votes?
I would do two.
Two votes.
If the first one fails, then there's no.
Okay, all right. So first, I'll look for a motion that we would vote on a variance to, I'm sorry, on a conditional use to have a fabricating machining business. Correct? Okay, so the first we're gonna look for a motion to vote on a conditional use.
Subject to the 36 months.
Yes, thank you, yes, subject to a 36-month,
I make a motion, we vote on petition 2026-3, conditional use for the business for 36-month period.
I'll second.
And on your voting sheets, just maybe make two sections on there. We have
Okay.
one voting sheet.
Yep.
We'll tally it
Keep it.
separately, but you can do it on one. And we'll just hold the sheets and do the second portion, and then we'll collect them and read them.
It's all just the bottom part, right?
yes, the
yes,
bottom
it's
part of
just
the,
the bottom part, it's a conditional use, so it's just the bottom part.
would you like us to do a roll, and an audible yes or no, and then do to the second vote, or? Has everyone had a moment? Okay. So, I'll start out. My vote is yes. Gene?
Mine is yes.
Scott?
Yes.
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 Andrew? Okay, your conditional use passes. Now we will take a second vote that, Mr. Fenton would like, approval on a sign that would meet all of the local as well as state setback requirements, sign size, etc. So we'll take a vote, on that now.
Okay, concerning petition 2026-3, the conditional use for Jessica Fenton, for both votes, Joseph Harmeyer, yes. For Scott Smith, yes. Janie Livingston, yes. Andrew Brunei, yes. Paul Stone, yes.
Okay, so, your conditional use request passes, regarding your sign. Now you would, come in and see the folks in the office regarding, the details surrounding that. So, any questions that you have? Okay. Thank you all for voicing your concerns. Understand that this is not a forever, vote. This is not something that lasts forever, so, there will be, in 36 months, you all will get a letter in the mail that you'll be able to, voice any concerns. Should we get a letter back from you, then we would come in and have this conversation again.
Have you made a limitation on the sign?
No, so we're not putting limitations on the sign. He's allowed to have one, but it would have to meet all of the sign ordinance requirements, which there are a list of requirements that he would have to adhere to. Should he want a variance from any of those, he would have to ask us for that. Okay? I'll look for a motion to adjourn. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Josh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Goodness gracious. All right. BZA petition 2026-4. Decatur County Ordinance Section 945. The property is currently owned by Glenn George Irrevocable Trust and is located at 105 East Harrison Street, St. Paul, and Adams Township. So, Mr. George, thank you for being here. Can you make it up to the pulpit?
I can hear you.
All right, all right.
You probably should go ahead and make a note of that.
Oh, yes, and for the record, Mrs. Livingston is stepping out for this petition. So please tell us what you're looking to do, sir.
Okay, what I'm looking to do is build this so I can put some my antique cars in it.
Okay,
And outside of that, it's, about the only thing though, I'm wanting to maybe a little workshop to fiddle around on the inside with. But outside of that, that's all that it is.
okay. And there is an existing structure, it looks like, in the corner of that property, is that correct?
Yes,
And that structure is being removed?
that garage is being tore down. So it'll all be new, where the garage is now, that'll be tore down and made into an entranceway to the
Okay.
garage.
I see. So you'll access this from that alley?
Correct.
And the area between the residence and the proposed garage, I assume that there's some limiting factor that would prevent moving that closer to the residence, the structure?
Not really. There's a garage that sits right behind where my garage is going to be.
You wanna know why it's not closer to the house?
No, it's not closer to
You
that.
wanna know why it's not gonna be closer
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
house?
so, I mean, the required setback from the ordinance is 15 feet separation from the property line to the closest, to the structure, which enables, if there were emergency personnel fixing your roof, things like that, that you don't have to get on someone else's property to repair your own building.
Well, he owns the other part of the property.
Today he does, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So in general, we like to see some setback just for all of those reasons. So what I was curious about is why not adhere to the 15 feet and just move it onto the property further?
He wants to know why you're not moving it closer to the deck, so you'd have more room on the end.
Well,
So why did you not do that? We don't know why.
Okay.
That's what the-
Yeah, who does
That's
it?
what the builder said they was gonna do.
Okay, I
We don't
see,
know why.
I see.
but I own that property on each side of it.
Understand, yep.
And to give us a little bit more room in our yard,
Uh-huh,
for the grandkids to come play and this and that.
sure.
We're putting it over there.
I understand, okay. That's what I was asking is, do you understand that what you're asking for is a variance from our standard setback of 15 feet? So,
Correct.
so new buildings today, if they meet that setback, they don't have to come before the board and ask for a variation from that rule.
Sure.
So I was just curious, but it sounds like primarily the builder just said, we'll just move it right where this current one is and build it along the line like it is.
Correct.
Okay.
How far from the existing structure will it, from the house, from the deck, will it be?
From the house, now, that I live in, correct?
Yeah. He wants to know how far from the deck to the garage where it'll be.
I don't know, probably 10, 15 feet.
Okay. So that may be the reason that it's not adhering to the 15-foot setback is because you're going to encroach on the deck. Is that a fair assessment of that?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not a real big garage. You got the size of it there?
I don't have the size of the garage, I don't think. I've got a rough drawing overhead. I don't think we have the dimensions of the garage at least.
It is a 24 by 40 by 14.
24 by 40 by 14.
40 deep, 20.
It's a tall building.
Yes.
Here's the,
So that I can put some storage up there.
Mm-hmm. Is there any room, so currently your request is exactly on the property line. And generally, I think that this board's approach in the past has been when we variate from that there's generally a pretty good solid reason, especially for a request that, I don't know that I've been on this board in a situation where someone has asked to build on the property line. That's quite unique. Especially if this is a structure 14 feet tall
Well, this won't be on, just right on the line,
Okay,
because there's already we put a new fence
okay,
up there, so it won't be, there'll be, between that and the fence that you can mow between and
Okay.
things like that, so.
so potentially this request maybe would be more like 3 feet from the line or something,
Yes,
is that?
yes, yeah.
Okay, well, that changes that somewhat.
Helps.
Just the question, is the fence on the line? Since he owns on both.
Yeah.
fence
Is the fence truly on the line, do you know? Do you know for sure where the property line is?
Yes, that's where they put the fence up.
Okay,
It's
and you feel pretty confident that it truly is located on the property
oh, yeah,
line?
Yes. Well, if they don't, of course, we own the ground right next to the property right next to it.
You're no spring chicken, that might not be forever. That's why we have these conversations, you know, if a person were to be able to own multiple parcels to eternity, we wouldn't have these kind of concerns, you know, but at some point, you may want to sell the property next to it, and then if that person isn't easy to get along with, it could be challenging to fix your roof, you know.
Well, I tell you, in over 50 years, I've put a lot of people down, but I see there's nobody here.
Fair enough. All right, additional questions from the board?
Just to clarify, because I'm looking at this on, there's a Google Street View of this. You got the current garage that's there. There's an old, which I'm assuming you said a fence has been replaced recently. There's a new fence.
Yes.
Because what I'm showing is that an old wooden privacy fence that got torn out.
That is
Okay.
down.
Okay, so that fence is in the same spot as the old fence was. And are you're planning to move, because the garage that's there currently, or the current garage looks like there's not a whole lot of room between it and the fence.
The old garage that is there is closer to the fence than the new one will. be.
Okay, yep, that's what I was getting to. Okay, thank you. I don't have anything else.
Would you be okay with your variance request being based on the existing structure that is closer than the new structure would be demolished, and that the new structure would be 3 feet from the property line?
It'll be 2 or 3 feet from it.
What's going to be okay if you?
Yes, yes.
3 feet from the property.
That would just bring it just a little bit more up
Closer
to
to the
our,
house.
It sets a precedence for the county to approve a 0-foot setback. It makes it challenging to have some continuity from one request to the next. So we need to be careful how often we do that, because should the next person not own the property next to it, should there be on the next property, a structure closer, then all of a sudden, no one can get an emergency personnel through or something of that nature. There are a lot of reasons that we generally don't approve very narrow setbacks.
well, I don't think you have to worry about that right now, because I was selling that property to my grandson, right, that's where the fence is and where the funeral home is.
Sure.
And he's taking over the funeral home,
Business. Okay.
so.
Okay. Questions before we look for motion? Okay, so I would like to amend this variance request to the condition that the existing garage will be demolished. The new structure would be 3 feet from that property line. And I would look for a motion that we vote on petition 2026-4 with those amendments.
I'll make a motion that we vote on petition 2026-4 with the modification of the setback from 15 foot to 3 feet and the existing garage being demolished. Did I get everything?
And a second.
Second. Yes.
The vote for petition 2026-4 is Joseph Armar, yes. Andrew Brunei, yes. Paul Stone, yes. Scott Smith, yes. And then on the stipulation, in there, what the motion was.
Existing garage be demolished and the setback is modified to 3 feet from the property line. Mr. George, your variance passes, so thanks for coming in and talking to us about it. Please just stay in touch with the folks in the office regarding your actual building permit. They'll guide you through the next steps.
Now, when will that be issued?
Have you submitted the plans and specs to our building inspector?
Yep, from the property.
From the
property
Yeah. Okay, but I'm not positive. So he has time, he has to review those.
I'll talk to her.
And then once he reviews, once our building inspector reviews the plans, then he'll notify you.
So when it
Does she even
starts
get a
to
no
build,
vote
just
then?
tell them
That's
the
correct, she
builder's
would be a
gotta
no
be 3
vote,
feet.
that's right, yep.
Yes.
Probably maybe just write absent out to the side of that or something like that. Abstain, maybe go
Abstain.
abstain, yeah. Okay. Last item on the agenda this time, look for a motion that we adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
We're adjourned. Thank you. Goodness. For a couple of
Area Plan Commission to order to comply with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Decatur County requests that participants in this meeting complete a voluntary anonymous survey that is available on the table in the back of the room. First item on the agenda is the approval of the March 4th minutes. Everyone should have received those. Any additions or corrections? Seem pretty thorough. Look for a motion to accept.
I make a motion to accept the March 2026 minutes.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Our first and only petition on the agenda is the APC petition 2026-5, Wayne and Cheney Spear, requesting to subdivide 2.99 acres out of 3.827 acres and rezone from an R4 zoning classification to an A2 zoning classification to build a single-family detached dwelling. This request falls under Decatur County Ordinance Section number 915 and 920 sub 7. Property is owned by the petitioners and is located just west of 6776 East, County Road 650 North in Fugit Township. Wayne, you want to get up and tell us about your project?
In the corner, actually, about where that blue square is, like this building. Eventually, towards the front where the gravel is, where the front of the house later on.
So is that driveway a shared drive to go to those other parcels then, or?
No, it's actually a vacated building.
Okay,
Yeah, from one piece of property line to be becoming all 640 on the west end of the
okay. The property to your east, I believe, is that then landlocked or?
Not to my knowledge, the right of way for that is.
Okay. Okay, so that continues probably out of view to the road, I'm guessing then?
Lot is 640 directly to the east of our line is one owner, and then the next owner goes around that region. I don't know if you get
Just because it's its own parcel, it would be, understand that, on the view I have, that doesn't go all the way to the county road, so I follow now.
Everything else is in order in your packet. Any of the board have any questions or concerns? Hearing none, does any of the public have any questions or concerns? Nothing there, I'll look for a motion.
Make a motion to accept APC 2026-5.
I second.
votes for petition 2026-5 are as follows: Ryan Canelo, yes. Ray Hargate, yes. Tom Cherry, yes. Sheila Kirkhoff, yes. Paul
motion or your petition passes, this will go then in front of the commissioners for the final approval, and then you'll be ready to get started. Just keep in touch with Doug in the office as you go through the process.
The 2.9 acres is 99 acres. Is there
You can choose it. You tell your surveyor.
Thank you. Okay, that ends the petition portion. Now we will move into our show cause hearing for the Decatur County Revitalization Project. As our standard disclaimer, this is a hearing basically to grant either an extension or to send this on to be in front of a judge. All of these are created by complaints. This is not something that the board or Doug goes out and searches out. There's been a formal complaint filed with the office to initiate these. Our first show cause hearing is R 2026-4, Casey Auditor. If we have Casey here, if he'd like to present his case.
Just so I can summarize, a quick summary, what I just passed out, those are pictures that were taken today. Some of the pictures that were provided to you in your packet are actually the house in front of it, which was not the parcel that the notice was given on, as it was a property that's part of the, he owns that property, but wasn't part of this complaint. If that makes sense. So those pictures are part of the complaint.
Okay.
And just a summary, received the complaint back May of 2024, letter sent out February 2025. Oliver and his mom came into the office to discuss the letter. That was in February 2025. And then recently, once we got the ordinance in place, we sent the letters February 26, and then the second notice March of 2026.
What was there, at that, at the meeting that you had, was there, what was it, where'd that go? Nowhere? Or
So
obviously not nowhere, but
that property, we asked for cleanup, and then the property, you can tell, was burned down. So we had asked that just for safety reasons, to put flooring on top of that basement for safety. And that hasn't occurred, or debris has accumulated since.
so there were some agreements for performance during that meeting that weren't followed through.
Correct.
Got it.
And since we have no one here to represent,
You.
oh, we do? Yep, come on up. So what's your plans for the property?
That's today. And that's the property that sits behind the house that he's, I don't think he's living in that. He's living in that home in front of it. Yeah. It's for that property. Not the, other property is part of the county certificate sale, so you actually end up not having that sale, but.
Then also, I don't remember, talking about the time over the basement, but I'm sure also.
Yeah,
That's not
you-
And then, like I said,
So is this something that you think you can clean up in the next 30 days, or we grant you an extension, or?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's really all we can do at this point, so we would vote to possibly grant you an extension, and that would be, what's a fair time? What's a fair time? Help me out with that, Doug, I mean.
We're going in the spring, so.
Yeah, it's not like weather's an issue too much right now. So, so that's our purpose of the board is to possibly grant you an extension without sending you to court, but you have to get it done, whatever the expectations are. Are they clear? I'm asking you, Doug, are the expectations of?
The debris, based on the notice, the debris needs to be cleaned up. Now, technically, the notice was for debris only, so if you.
Okay. So the debris and that rotten deck, well, I would consider that a rotten dock. Is that along the shoreline?
Yeah.
I would say the debris and the floor joists on that rotten dock would need to be cleaned up.
And that's a burned out house, right? That's a burned out house, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a
but
chimney.
Yeah, I know. I was looking at this.
You're looking at the, that's still the top of that, that's,
Oh,
That's
okay.
right there.
I got you.
that's a brick basement.
I got you.
Can I ask you what your goal is with the structure that burned? Is it your hope to salvage any of that, or at this point, I assume it's probably pretty well gone from a?
Yeah, it was pretty well gone from the beginning, unfortunately. And, so I think what my plans are is we need to clean up the debris that's left there and, the concrete basement foundation that it had, it almost just about has to stay in the hillside, kind of going into the hillside a little bit. If it gets removed itself, the rest of that hillside behind it is gonna go down pretty quick towards the lake like this one's already been doing for years. And that above, up there is where my other property is, up to the front.
Yeah. I mean, I would assume that this is just my recommendation. I don't think it would be advisable to you to install a flooring on those joists. I think that may lead to further safety concerns. I imagine if the floor joists are removed, I think a lot of the safety concern would probably go away. Is that a fair assessment of?
I mean, it's a steep hill, no matter where you're at.
Yeah.
There, it's a steep hill.
Yeah.
So that
The vacant walls in the chimney then become, they're a part of the debris. It's debris left from a fire, the whole thing is debris left from a fire.
Yeah, but I mean, if the foundation's still intact. it could be
Foundation,
used.
yeah, I don't have a
I'd have a
problem with
hard time.
foundation, but.
With that, because it could be built on if it's still a good foundation, and I haven't looked at it to know if it's cracked.
I think the debris and getting rid of those floor joists would go a long way. I mean, and just my
Mr.
opinion.
Oliver, just so you understand, the burden is on you. The parcel number in the notice was correct, so when your properties that you own, you have access to what the parcel numbers are. So you should know what parcel you reference from. And also, you had notice of cleanup. If you have a tenant there, it's not the tenant's responsibility, it's the property owner. So what will happen next is if you're given a period of time and you don't clean it up, then I will file this case with the circuit court. Well, actually, it'll go into Superior Court 1, and then there will be a court order entered if the judge sees fit for the property to be cleared up, and then that cost is placed upon your tax bill. And then if you don't pay that on the tax bill, then the property would be sold for a tax sale. So this is a serious process, and you've had multiple times of notice, so action has to happen. Whatever the board grants, if anything, it's not another stride. If it doesn't happen, litigation will proceed immediately.
So inside this basement, this basement walls, I assume there's interior walls and I see windows and doors. Are there walls inside that building, that space?
So the way it was built, there is one wall with stitches stuck right now that goes all the way across it. That was the only wall that it had in when I lived in there.
Because, if we specify take out the floor joists and there's stuff inside there, that's a part of the cleanup.
Yeah, anything that's not foundation would have to go.
Yeah, anything that's not masonry. We got windows there and things like that should be a part of the debris cleanup.
Okay, what's the board's thoughts?
I think that's, yeah. Do you feel that a month's time is adequate to get that cleaned up?
Yeah, if there ain't more, I can do that, I get it done in 30 days for that.
Then you won't have to worry about it going to court and then them sending somebody to clean it up, because what she was saying is they're going to send somebody to clean it up. Whatever that expense will be, will then go on your tax bill, and if you can't pay that, then you'll have a tax lien sale on your property. So it's really serious. I think we want to make that very clear to you so you know where you stand, and you really got to do a great job with the cleanup so that it doesn't proceed on the court. Say I'd make a motion to vote on giving him 30 days.
Second.
If I'm
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, Casey, you have 30 days, and if nothing happens to their satisfaction in that time frame, it'll go to court.
Thank
Appreciate it.
Second hearing is R 2026-5, Lawrence Berkemeyer.
Mr. Berkemeyer was in contact with me. He did get his property cleaned up.
Okay.
So
Great.
it was a simple, got a lot of complaints in Corey Additions. Corey Additions in the county. So whoever the tenant was piling trash in the back of the pickup truck, and it was blowing all over it was blowing all over the neighborhood. I'd asked the neighbors, communicate with them, try to get it, nothing happened, so we took this step, and it's all been cleaned up, and the
Okay. Final hearing, R 2026-6, David Israel and Justin Israel. David, if you want to come on up.
Before we started this, there's 4 outlets. One goes north and south. Those are the outlets. Across from south, north. So it's not bad. So it's sticking out the property. It always comes over on our side of the shop. It's hard to keep up. There is settlers that's there, that's, water to get people out there to throw their trash. So, anyway, anyway, what I wanted to do is get an extension on 30 days, so that somebody just like my phone, farmer, and sometimes, yeah. Work for the last, and it's like a I just like working on good. I still think a lot of you guys whatever. You guys got there. So it would be nice.
Well, technically, the alleys aren't,
They're not the issue.
they're not our,
We're not talking.
and they're not ours to deal with. That would be a commissioner issue to try to vacate alleys.
And I don't think that the closing the alleys is gonna satisfy the debris conversation.
And the other thing for the board to consider is when it's granting extensions, you know, are under ARPA funds. You have a time period to use those. The process works, is the court orders it cleaned up. ARPA funds will clean it up, and then it will be put back on the property, on the tax bill. So we don't want to grant multiple extensions when there's already been extensions granted, because it's outside the end of the year.
What's that window?
Calendar year.
This year?
December.
Thoughts from the board?
David, what kind of time frame would you like to see?
Has anything been done since the initial letter was sent out? Since the initial letter was sent out
February
in
12th.
February 16th or 12th? Yes. No, I just mean, have you worked on any of the cleanup since the first letter? Yes.
That's what you did, go. Good enough.
Are we trying to get these, the vehicles is our issue? I mean,
Well, if they're unlicensed, if you go down to the highlighted section, find it. There we go.
yeah, just-
And that includes unlicensed.
So how many of these vehicles are unlicensed and not insured for the road?
The vehicles that's on my property they don't have plates on them. Now there's 4 or 5 of my vehicles on there, and then there's another 4 that part of them belong to somebody else.
So could they come get them, the ones that have?
Um,
I'm just trying to find a way to achieve, I mean, these vehicles can probably be fixed up and moved pretty quickly.
They are fixable, to be honest, except for like 3 of them. So,
But
and
they're,
Yeah, but they've been sitting there too long.
and the 10-wheeler is gonna be the first one to go.
I'm not sure what we should suggest. I mean, I'm struggling.
Is the, so I don't know exactly where the line's at from a commercial thing, if that changes the allowance at all. I mean, certainly understand, some of them not being runnable, but generally, if it's truly a repair, you know, they're coming for repair because they're not runnable. Within a couple of months, they should be, you know, either moved along, repaired, something like that. So I think that's probably where the concern comes from, is not that they're just unusable vehicles today, but those vehicles, I'm guessing, have been there for some time.
Correct.
Yeah.
The one thing that I was asked from my dad before he passed away, that I didn't let it get away too quick. Dad's only been gone for like 3 years. He said he'd like to see me keep it just for 2 more years, or something like that.
Keep
Okay.
business or the or
No, to get rid of this Diamond T. It's a 10-wheeler. It's a 10-wheeler.
Okay.
And there's the guy that cleaned up my shop, the stuff behind my shop, that's gone. And
but the 10-wheeler will be gone.
Okay.
So,
Well, that's only one unit, I think, the 10-wheeler we're talking about, right? There's only one unit, one vehicle, one 10-wheeler?
yes.
Okay, so, I mean, if you had one vehicle sitting out there, I don't think you would be standing in front of our board. So you're focused on the 10-wheeler. We're talking about the other 8 to 10 how many vehicles total are there? Do you know?
The antique trucks that we do have, I do have,
I'm not even seeing any of those in the picture, so I'm struggling.
it's a 61 and a half Econoline. Everybody wants them to give it to them. I want to keep,
That one sitting by the alley, yeah.
if anybody's ever had antiques and you want to keep something, you kind of like to have it back, you know.
Kind of like Paul, I think the biggest thing is sometimes the organization and overall cleanup and appearance goes a long way. You know, a couple of vehicles that are kind of properly parked and.
And they wouldn't be, you know, if I get to keep them, I guess, but I'm not going to get rid of it. I'll put it somewhere. But I have to put a building behind it to keep it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to send a message that we're chasing these situations down. I mean, you don't have to drive real far to find folks that have kept a vehicle back for some reason. But I think that the volume of them is the concern that initiates these requests that come into the office, you know, from other property owners in the area or wherever it comes from. I don't know, but I think that the volume of the vehicle, so, you know, if there's a vehicle that you have sentimental value, I don't think that this board is here to try and force something like that. But the idea that there may be 12 vehicles becomes,
Could be,
you know.
could get to be bigger, and I ain't going to do that to you. So, but the 10-wheeler will be gone. It may not be tomorrow, but when I get the guys I help farm during a farm season, you know, like, well, if it's not raining and I can get this diamond tee out, stuff like that, I'll work with you.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly understand being busy in the season. I right there with you. We're in the same business. But on that same token, a good Sunday and a lot of stuff can happen, you know. So I think that my opinion is I'm okay with granting an extension to make this happen. But let's not wait until the last day of that and then say, well, I've just been busy, you know. I think that some continued progress through that time would probably speak a lot, you know. So I'll leave that up to the board on, you know, whether we do that. But I would encourage it to just keep progress going. And if there's some progress, probably wouldn't be here to begin with, you know.
And just to understand, this is the only chance to get the extension.
Yeah.
So if it's not done at the end of the extension, then it goes to.
I understand.
So what do you think, time-wise? Because essentially, we need to set the timeline and we need to set the expectation for what would be acceptable for Doug.
Yeah.
This isn't just cars.
You're right, it's not just cars.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. The cars are one thing, but the clutter and junk and things that just need to go in a dumpster are another. And that would go a long way to remedying the situation.
And you can do it a lot cheaper than whoever the county ends up hiring if it goes that far.
Oh, I know.
So you know, we're trying to, our board really wants to give you a shot at this, but you're not gonna get to see us again. You're gonna get to see the judge. And so we're just trying to be real clear on that it's not just a 10-wheeler or just two vehicles. It's 10 vehicles and it's a lot of clutter. If you got the clutter and you organize the vehicles, they may let you go. But the clutter, there's a lot of that around it, looks like, from what I can see. Yeah, what is that? What's that old barn? Is that an old woodshed back there that's, looks like it's starting to fall in? So is that, does that have stuff in it? Cause I mean, that would, you know, I think that's a portion too that needs to be straightened up or tore down. Well, number one, it's probably a safety hazard, the way it looks there. If you go out, drive out, 200, Bill Winning just lost the barn out there. So we just, you know, the other concern is safety too, for you and whoever you might invite in there. So, I don't know what to say. I just want to be real clear with you to know how serious this is, and if it goes to the judge, how serious and expensive that's going to be on your tax bill. And for a little cleanup, you know, we can always do our own work cheaper than we can pay somebody else to do it. So we just want to be really clear. If we give you 30 days, whether you're, like Paul said earlier, you can't tell the judge you've been busy because you've had since whenever the first date of the letter was to make an attempt at
The
this.
first complaint was in 2024.
So you were probably notified sometime in 24 about this. So you've had almost a couple years, depending upon what month it was in 24. And
What do you
these
think?
pictures we're seeing are recent, so, it does, if you have cleaned it up, boy, you got a long ways to go.
What do you think's reasonable from here on out to get most of it? What do you think is reasonable from here on out to get most of it cleaned up?
If I can round it, Justin went down. It's, it's just what it is. Sometimes it's healthy, sometimes it's
Do you have a time in mind?
I guess you want it in one lump sum or?
Well, if the board would approve an extension, basically, you would have until that period before it would be filed with the court. Is that correct, Missy?
And how quickly would the case be heard?
But at that point, honestly, it doesn't matter. Once it's to the court level, it doesn't matter if in 30 days, we grant you 30 days and it's not where it's supposed to be. That's when the courts
That's
makes
when it
his
goes to
decision.
court.
It's not
Well,
like
no,
you get
it'll-
another 30 days and you come before the judge and say, well, in the last 30, I have cleaned it up.
And if I follow you right, the contract work would have to be paid for in 26. So there's a lot of steps even after that. If we're gonna use those funds to pay the contractor, they would have to have that work done and then we pay them. Is that correct? So if our end goal is to do this properly from a funding standpoint, this can't happen in
For all
November.
intents and purposes, a 60-day extension every time we do it.
Yeah, I think we need to just figure out our days. Do we want it to be 30 days? I mean, like you said, in a good Sunday, if you get a handful of people together, you could really make a dent in it if you were able to get a dumpster out there and somebody with a skid loader. I think that's kind of where,
Yeah. If you felt like another couple weeks, you know, a month and a half would give that to you, David, I mean, I think I would be in favor of voting that way. But I'll be honest, I'm just concerned that, I don't know that 30 days beyond a month, you know, if it's 2 months versus 1 month, I think if you're motivated, you're gonna make it happen, you're gonna make it happen, is my thought, I guess, but I'm not telling you have to, I'm just saying, just trying to prevent you from being in a jam up in the court, you know?
Well, and have an enormous tax bill that causes you to have to sell your property. 'Cause Cause that's what will happen. You know, so, I mean, you could probably do it cheaper hiring somebody to do it on your own than after you go through the court system and they pay somebody and all those fees go on your tax bill. You're still gonna end up paying it if you don't clean it up, or they're gonna take your property and sell it to cover that cost. You see what I'm saying? So this is, and I mean, I just told Clay, I mean, we do not want that to happen to you. But you have got to do it. You're at your, you know, you've kind of got first strike, second strike, you know, third strike here. This is it. You have got to make that place more presentable. I just want you to understand how much of a grave concern this is and what that impact will be if the county hires somebody, because the county don't care what the guy charges, I'm sure. They're not, government, I don't believe government always looks out for your best interest, so I'm trying to defend you and help you get to where you need to be so you don't have a bill that maybe possibly you can or cannot afford. But it needs to be very, very presentable at this point. Cars gotta be, if they're not licensed, they gotta be gone, or in a building. And all the debris and stuff that's not grass and sticks have to be out of all the yards and stuff. Yeah. But I wouldn't worry about the alley, I'd get everything else first. Well,
And you can actually file a complaint on your neighbors too.
yeah.
If their debris is causing you disruption and pain, that's what this is all about.
I wouldn't worry about that right now, the trees can stay. You have the right to take those trees down if they're on your property, don't worry about that. But I, you know, do you think that 30 days would be enough for you to get that cleaned up? How much time, what do you think, guys? We need to make a decision.
Yeah, we need a time frame set.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've been very clear.
And I'm like Paul, I mean, I know everybody's busy, but one good day is gonna go a long ways, or even if you hire it. You know, you mentioned you had somebody that cleaned another portion of it up.
Okay.
Let them take it all,
Stuff.
you know.
Happened till April 20th. We got 3 weeks. We gave the last guy 30 days. We gave last month, we gave 60 days because of the weather.
Yeah, I'm like Ryan, I wouldn't worry too much about the alleys. I mean, the case that you're gonna have to make is that what's on your parcel, you know, so I'd focus on that, and, the stuff that just hasn't moved for years is what has to move, you know, and I understand you're working on something, you know, and if you're actually working on something, that's okay, but boy, you just, it can't be the same vehicles for decades, you know, but. Okay, so,
I think we're looking at 30 days.
30 days.
That's what we've done, what we did with the
Yeah.
last guy. And last month we did 60 because of the weather.
Yeah.
Or we'd done 30 last month.
Yeah.
30 days.
Okay.
Make a motion to vote on APC.
It's not a petition.
R 2026-6 to grant a 30-day extension for your cleanup, Mr. Israel.
All those I need a second.
I make a second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, you've got 30 days.
Thanks for coming in, Mr. Israel.
Thanks, David. That was our final show cause hearing. Anyone else have anything? Hearing nothing, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Make Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.